just to sort of tell you a little bit about me, I'm a very passionate empowerer of women, and I was brought up to, you know, have my own job or my own business, and that it was encouraged because my mum felt that that gave everyone a sense of who they are, what they want to contribute to the world, and that makes you feel good about yourself. So worked in the public service for 16 years, rose through the ranks, but got to the point where I really wasn't in line with who I am and who my values are, let alone anything else. Yes, there was a lot of money, there was cars, the whole bit, but I was having to lie to people. I was having to, you know, do things that really weren't congruent with me, and I'd been doing it for such a long time that I became mentally and physically very unwell. So I ended up with double pneumonia, and that caused me to dive into depression, where I stayed for a good 12 months. So it's been a long journey for me to recover my my health and myself. And then I turned right away from the corporate world and went, okay, well, if that's not me, what the heck do I want to do with my life, and who the hell am I? Didn't know the answers to either of those questions, which actually scared the crap out of me. But I was brave enough to ask for help and support, and I did that, and I ended up training as a coach, which I absolutely love. So I'm a trained, qualified life coach, and I've gravitated to women in business because of my history and how I was brought up. So I help women have a balanced life, because if you're just a business, then you basically don't have family, friends, other interests to support you. And a business is always going to be there, those other things will. So the idea is to have a life and a business that represent who you are as a woman. And so I help people do that. But to do that, you also need to put food on the table, and that's super important as well. So that's my bit of who I am and what I do. I also work with women and children who have gone through trauma, whether that's abuse or as in an accident or something similar, or being bullied, and I work with them as well, and that's my second passion. When you are creating anything for your business, whether it's a blog, an image, some text, something to go on an image, a video, you need to know who your clients are. Now, I'm going to quickly go through this, but please ask questions at any time. So the basics, you need to know who they are, as in, are they male, female? So you need to get into demographics. Where do they live? What type of jobs do they do? What kind of things do they do for fun? Are they married? Are they single? Where do they like to hang out? What do they like to read? Because as soon as you start to know who they are, you can work out what problems they have. You can work out, well, what do they need to know? What are they having problems with in life? So, or business. So say you're a fisherman, and you want to actually sell products to fishermen. Then you would go, okay, well, where do fishermen typically hang out? Do I want to go all over Australia? Do I want to go just within my state? Do I want to go locally? Okay, so once you decide, say it's locally, right, well, where do they go? What do they like to do? Where do they hang out when they're not fishing? How can I get in touch with them? Because then you know where you can find them as well. And when you know those things, then you can start to go, okay, how do I then go about targeting those people? So so for me, as an example, I work with women, and I tend to work with women in their 30s and 40s up to early 50s, which is quite a big demographic. Normally you only have a 10-year spread, but mine's actually quite big. And then I go, okay, well, most of the women I work with live in major centres, so it'll be Brisbane, Gold Coast, Perth, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. So they're in major centres. They don't tend to have businesses out in rural Australia. So when I'm targeting my market, I go, okay, well, I know they're going to be there. So I know they're going to be hanging out in cafes. They're going to be reading magazines. They're going to be going to movies. They're going to be going to theatre. So, which is totally different to a woman who works out in the bush. because she doesn't have any of that. So when I'm talking to people and when I'm creating marketing material or visual images or writing blogs, that's who I've got in my mind. It's my ideal client.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do I do that? Because they then can relate to me. They then can go, oh, okay, yep, she gets me. She understands me. And one mistake that some people make is they go, okay, I'm actually a tarot reader, but I'm actually going to work with, I'm going to work with fishermen. And it's like, what? How do you, translate those two? Unless you're an avid fisher person, you're not going to be living your values, you're not going to be serving yourself, and so you can't serve your clients. So you need to make sure that whoever your client is, that you can actually relate to them, and that and most people do that, but occasionally I get people who don't. So you have to work out exactly what your values are, what you want to be providing as well, so that you can marry that up with who your clients are, what their problems are, and what they need. And then once you've got that fit, you've got clients, you've got money coming in the door. There are all types of ways people learn. So we learn, I suppose I'm an oral kinesthetic learner. So I can listen and learn, so that's the A, oral. So I can listen and learn, but I have to write at the same time because I'm kinesthetic. I love touch, I love texture, I love to create. So often when I was at university, I would be writing madly because that's, if I listened and wrote, I didn't have to review the notes 60 times for it to sink in. I also, when I was studying, and I do it even today, I speak it back to myself because if I can hear it, I can learn it. Other people just like the visual. So they love graphics, they love slideshows, they love images, they don't like listening to ebooks. That drives them crazy. Other people are oral, so they love to speak and they learn by speaking, and they often call themselves thinking speakers. Teachers are often like this because they are speaking and teaching at the same time, and that's how they learn. So they will often talk to themselves, and they will often verbalise what they've learned or verbalise an opinion, and often it's not what they actually believe. They're actually asking you, what do you think? I'm actually verbalising this random thought I've had because I'm processing it. And your clients are going to be each one of these. So you need to make sure that you have different ways of communicating with them. So that's why I do webinars. I have a blog. I have images. I have my Facebook group. I have, things that I just write and send out a blog. So there's all sorts of ways of communicating. So the niche is there, so we've talked about that already, but the key point on this slide is knowing your values and knowing those of your potential client, knowing what you want to provide, knowing what they need, and pairing the two up. Once you've got that, you've got sales. It's not that hard. Well, it is, it's hard, but once you've got it, you're set. Any questions on that before I move on to the next slide?
No, this is all good.
Alrighty. Okay. So now once you've worked out who your clients are, what they look like, and what I often say to people is create your ideal client. Grab a picture of who you think your ideal client will look like. Write down your demographic. So write down who they are, where they hang out, what they like to do for fun, what their problems are. Put all of that down on paper and stick it up in your study or near your desk or wherever you work. And whenever you're going to write something, put yourself in their shoes. So become that client so that you can relate to them more easily. You also need to hang out where your clients hang out. So for me, I go to a lot of networking events here in Canberra because I work with business women. I hang out on networking sites. I read networking magazines. I also go to events for counsellors and psychologists and other people as well, because I do a lot of NLP in my work, neuro-linguistic programming, and some of my clients have come from that area. And because my second passion is working with women and children who have been through trauma, that's where my clients come from as well. So you need to hang out where they hang out. Now, power words are really useful. Now, some people say they're really something that used to be done in advertising and they're not used much anymore, but they are. And there are ones that are overdone, like amazing. This is such an amazing product. Think of and here's the 3 steak knives, right? Those kinds of ads have all got the same look and feel. You don't have to be cheesy about it. You don't have to use power words that don't fit with you. You can use power words that do fit with you. Now, I use awesome all of the time because I say awesome. Oh, gee, that's awesome. Oh, fantastic. That's so awesome. Awesome happens to be a power word. I didn't know that. It was just me. So it fits beautifully with me and I use it. The other thing is there are power words like great. There are power words like help. There are power words like new. Now, they're not really salesy, but they hit an emotion. So a power word is something that strikes an emotion in the reader or the viewer. That's why they're used. Now, the psychology of people has not really changed in the last couple of 100 years. So these power words still work. But I do advise that you use them sparingly. Otherwise, you get into that cheesy sales pitch stuff. When you're using your words, people are always looking for value. So they're always looking for a sale. It's part of our genetic makeup. We always want something for nothing. You need to make sure that you're letting them know what value you're going to give them and how are you going to provide that differently to the next person. Because as a coach, using myself as an example, there are so many people out there doing what I do. There are so many business coaches out there. There are so many coaches out there working with women and children who have gone through trauma. Why am I different to the next person, the next woman? Why am I different? What value am I going to provide? How am I going to relate to my client compared to the next person that's different? Now, sometimes it comes down to like attracting like, and that's, how the universe works. But sometimes it's often the words that you use and you get people to think. If you get people to stop and think, they'll go, oh, that's really interesting. I hadn't thought about that before. And so you stick in their mind. So words help you grab attention. They help you to really stick in someone's mind. And when you're trying to get clients in through the door and money through the door, that's super duper important.
Yep.
Because you can do it with images, but you're not going to grab then the people who are visually orientated. So you need to combine the two with words. Mm-hmm. Any questions?
No, what you're saying is resonating with me.
Cool.
A lot.
Great.
It's sort of taking me on the journey of where I've been, and I'm just stepping out of it. So it's awesome.
Oh, fantastic.
If that makes sense. Yeah. So I've just got my message. I've got my languaging. I've done a bit of testing with it and got a potential client only the other day because they responded to the message I put out there, and I got the client I'm looking for from it. So that was huge. Just huge. So yeah, it's working. It's now that next step of what I can provide, because I'm a psychologist. I don't know if you know, if you sort of looked at my background or anything. So for me, it's about creating an opportunity for people to get to know me so they feel safe enough to tell me their stuff and confident enough that I really know what I'm talking about, that I've had the experience I say I've had, and that when they tell me their stuff, that, when they open their heart, that I'm going to be able to help them. So that's where I'm at. Now, I know I can do that because I've had a lot of experience in the field that I work in, but it's getting them to understand that without me going, well, I've worked in England and Australia, and I've worked for Relationships Australia, and I've done this, and I've done. Do you know what I mean? So It's creating those opportunities I guess through value adding, that people say, I've listened to Elizabeth speak, she really resonated with me and I got it.
Yeah.
And so now I want to see her and tell her my story. Yeah?
Absolutely.
That's...
And it takes about, it depends on the person and whether they're more extroverted than introverted, but it can take between 8 and 12 touch points for someone to actually become a client. And a touch point, I'm not sure if you know that term, but a touch point is essentially going to a webinar. I went to Toni-Maree's webinar, or I went to Elizabeth's webinar. Oh, I saw Elizabeth's blog the other day. Oh, she sent me an email. So it's that, and you're a psychologist, so you get this. So it's people hearing what you're saying, seeing your name, and creating an emotional response associated with that. So, and that's where the trust comes in. So once they've got those number of touch points and they feel that they can trust you, that's when they'll make contact. And that's the initial point. That's not necessarily the end point, but it's your first opportunity to show your uniqueness. Okay, other than all the marketing stuff, it's where you come into your own. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Alrighty. Okay, so this is the marketing formula that the experts used. Now, I paid a fortune to learn this. I kid you not. I've paid $10,000 to learn this stuff and to use it effectively. But I'm giving it away for free because I don't think this stuff should be hidden under the mat and it should be a secret. Everyone should know it. The big marketing companies know it, through to your corner store knows it. Okay, so this is the marketing formula that everybody in marketing uses. What you're doing is you're understanding your client, you're understanding their problem, and that translates to a pain. So what pain are you solving? And when you think about it, if you've got a broken toe and the doctor fixes it, you go, oh, thank God, I love you to bits. It's the same thing. It's an emotional response. It's not a physical pain, it's an emotional pain. So for me, my clients are, I'm talking the talk, I'm walking it and I'm living it, but I'm not getting in clients. And it's like, okay, so your pain is financial, but where has that come from? Why is financially that a pain for you? What, do you have a fear of money? Do you have a financial burden that you haven't expressed to me? Is there something in your history that has caused you to be, concerned about feeling successful? So it's getting to, like a psychologist, is getting to the root of the issue and then helping them through that. So what I always say to people, what you come to me as the problem is never the problem. There's something underlying it, and that's what I will work with you on. And then, that solution and that problem you had originally will take care of itself. It'll be the end result of, and there'll be many more other results that come from identifying that original pain and resolving it. Obviously, you need to have empathy to do that. So there are a lot of sales techniques out there that actually don't have empathy. They're not me. This is not what I'm talking about. There are salespeople out there who will hammer you, who will make you feel guilty, who will make you feel worthless if you don't work with them, who will make you feel useless, like you know nothing and that they have all of the answers. They're not the people that I want to work with. They're not the clients I want to have. Yes, that works. Absolutely, that works. And if you want to make a lot of money quickly, go to it. That's the way to do it. But if you want to have a sustainable business, you need to have empathy and you need to be able to relate to your clients, and that comes to trust. Once your clients trust you, you can provide a solution. And people said to me early on, if someone wants to work with you, they'll pay anything, literally anything. And I went, yeah, sure. And when you start out, it's really hard to bring money in the door because you've aligned your success almost to that financial aspect. But if you give to receive, and if people trust you, money flows. And that's all about providing that solution for them. So if they trust you enough to work with you and they understand that you will get to a result, it may not be the one they originally walked in the door with, but they'll have a result and it'll be a result that they love, then they will pay you anything to do that. Now, when I say that, you then have to balance that up with what can my market afford. So if I was working with billionaires, I'd be charging millions, right? But I'm not. I'm working with small business women who are trying to put food on the table, support their families, and love what they do. And so it's really important for me to charge accordingly. And that's why I do things like this free webinar, because I love to give to receive. It's part of who I am. When you're doing your sale, or you're giving a product, people are investing in you. So you don't think of it as I'm taking money off them. I don't think of it as my success is tied into that dollar. They're buying in to taking a step outside their comfort zone. They're buying in to working on their business and themselves to be successful, to be living a life that they find they have lots of passion about, that they feel they just want to yell from the rooftops about, that they're just living and thriving in life. But I need to give value. So I need to make sure that when I'm talking to people, I give more than what I think they expect, because then they know that I'm a genuine person, that I actually will do this when I'm working with them, whether it's in a group or one-on-one or whatever it might be. They know they're going to get value for money. The other thing that you always do when you're doing any kind of marketing is you link everything back to you. So I talk about Toni-Maree all the time. I talk about the word awesome because my business comes from that, to be awesome. I give women permission to be themselves and to live the life that they deserve. And I also, on my images, will put my website group, or I will put my, depending on where it is, my Facebook page. I have a catchphrase, stay awesome. You'll notice that if you watch the news, if you watch any kind of promo for a new TV show, they use the same words and repeat them over and over and over again. What happens is people get to know you for your catchphrase. They might not remember your name, but they go, oh, who's that awesome lady again? Oh, that's her. That's Toni-Maree. That's right. That's what she talks about. I remember her now. So you need to create some catchphrases for yourself. People call them all sorts of things, you know, in the marketing world, taglines, the rest of it. But whatever it is, it needs to be consistent and it needs to reflect you. Any questions?
No, you're breaking up a little bit, so I'm getting bits of it. But I get what you're saying so far. It's good.
Okay, cool. Sorry about it breaking up. That's my internet connection. It's rubbish. Okay, this is where we get to the fun bit. So all of these images that you can see on the right there are ones that I created. They all attract attention in different ways. They've all got my name on them, even though sometimes you won't see it. And they've all come from different places. So I've chosen the images to reflect the purpose of the message, but also to grab attention. So the coin, for example, I was talking about money. Now that is an actual coin that the Australian Mint created to reflect something that the National Portrait, not the National Portrait Gallery, that the National Gallery of Australia was doing. They wanted some coins to be able to give to people. And so they asked the Mint to create them, and that's one of the ones they created. So I asked for permission to use that image, and sometimes you need to make sure you copyright the image. But a lot of images are free and you can do what you like with them. But if you do buy something from someone or use something from an artist, you need to make sure it's copyrighted or you will get yourself into all sorts of legal trouble. Okay? Quality over quantity. So take your time, choose your images wisely, create ones that are going to grab attention, and you won't have to do it every day of the week. Okay? If you bombard people, they're just going to ignore you over time. But if you, when you post something or you email them something or you do a flyer or whatever it might happen to be, if it is something that is quality, people are going to go, oh, wow. And I'm not talking about the type of paper you printed on. I'm talking about the quality of image and the message that's on it. Now, you'll notice too that I have very few words on there. There's two reasons for that. One is people hate to read a paragraph on an image. Number two, if you're going to grab attention, you want it short and sweet. And number 3, if you're going to use it in Facebook and boost the post or use their advertising campaigns, it can only be 20% of the image. You won't get it through otherwise. Okay, right. So these are all images that I created. Okay, so Canva is a great place to do it. Now I have a, there's different, you can use the free version, you can pay for versions, and I do have a business version because I can put in my, all of my colours, my preferred font. I can put in all the stuff to do with my branding. I can put in logos, images of myself, and they are always there. Whereas if I just use the free version, I have to set that up every time. So I pay extras.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it very expensive?
No, I can't remember what it is. It's not much. I think it's like $200 for a year or something. It's not much at all.
Oh, that's not much.
Yeah. So I mean, we can look at that in a moment, but essentially it just saves me time, and I'm very big on saving time. So I outsource what I don't need to do. Like I've got a virtual assistant and all of that kind of jazz, and I don't do my own accounting, that kind of thing. And this to me is outsourcing. So I don't need to create that every time. I know it's there. I know the colours are exactly right, and it's perfect. Now, the Canva colours represent pretty much truly what your particular brand colours will be. So they are slightly off, but not by much. So what you see is what your client is going to see. It's not going to change much from screen to screen, which is fabulous. That's because that's what you want. So you can see here that I've actually used a number of different ways of grabbing attention. So as the if you have a look at the black image there with the poster of the 1920s lady, that's an image that I just got on a Google search. And it's one image, and it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words, but it gets the message across. Right? It's not quite black and white. It does have some colour in it. But you can see that I've chosen her because one of my colours is yellow, and she's got yellow in her scarf. And there's also, even though it's black and white, there's shades of blue in there, and that it's not quite my blue, but it's close enough. Right? If you have a look at the promo day one, right? Everything there is on brand for me, except Friday is. That font isn't. Everything else is. But I wanted people to know it was Friday, so I wanted it to stand out, so I chose that particular font. The black is also not on brand for me. So you can use your brand and go off brand to grab attention. Okay, and if you don't have a set of colours, then you need to think about 4 colours that you want to represent you. Now, I love yellow. It's a happy colour. It evokes sunshine. It makes people feel good. The blues, very similar, calming. I deal with people who are in business, or whether they've gone through trauma or feeling quite stressed, uncertain of themselves, really need a bit of support and need some guidance and some help along the way. And so that translates well for me. I don't like black because it's too harsh. So I've gone with aubergine. It's a dark aubergine, almost black, because again, it's just that little bit softer, and I'm working with women, not men. So if I was working with both men and women, it would be totally different colour palette. So you need to think about, okay, and you can go and search for colour palettes online, and they actually have them already done up for you. And they have images there that represent different ways people have used them. And you can just choose them that way. I mean, I went to a branding expert and got her to help me and do it for me, but you don't have to. You can go and do it yourself quite easily. It just takes a bit of time and a bit of research. So look up colour palettes, do a Google search. There's hundreds, literally hundreds of them out there. Stick to one, give it a go. You can always change it. Okay? Alrighty. If you have a look at the limited offer, the initial consult with TM, I've used my image. Now, why did I use my image there as opposed to some of the others? Well, because it's me. It's people working with me. It's a limited offer. But you can see in the background, I've used like a sunset type feel. It's actually the same image, just different parts of it moved around. And I've created that because I wanted people to feel like I was approachable. And so that gives that's me being a strong person, but also saying, you know, I'm not going to yell and scream at you. I'm actually going to be supportive and I'm going to help you. But it's also, the red is very strong, saying you will get results. So, you know, there are no mistakes in these images because I've really thought about, well, what do I want to say to my client, right? Remember, you put yourself in your ideal client's shoes and you go, what are they looking for? What emotion, what pain am I solving? What are they going to be looking for? What emotion do I need to evoke? Whereas the black one is all about grabbing attention. I don't care what pain they've got, really. It's got nothing to do with pain. I'm blatantly advertising my group. Come and check us out, right? And people know that. They go, oh yeah, well she's not, you know, oh actually that's quite truthful. You know, she's not trying to talk me into it. She just said, this is where the heart-centered women are. If I want to go, I can join them. If I don't, well, so, you know, it doesn't matter. She doesn't care. But she's being honest enough to tell me that's what she's doing. Right? So I don't trick people with my advertising. You can, but again, it's not authentically me, so I don't do it that way. Okay, so if we go down, there's some other images here. Where's one of my favourites? Right? So this flower, again, it's on brand, right? Life is for living, doubt is for ditching. Quite simple, but it goes straight to the heart of somebody. If they're doubting themselves, if they don't feel worthy, if they don't feel like they're good enough. And let's face it, we've all been there. We all will be there again. And what do we look for when we're feeling like that? We want hope. We want to feel like there's flowers around us, that it's not all doom and gloom, and that the sky is blue, not grey. And having lived through depression myself, I get that. And yes, I use it to my advantage, but I also want to tell people that I understand. And that's what that image represents, is understanding. Okay. Alrighty, this one here, creating authentic connections. The only thing on brand there really are the colours of the words and the yellow in the flower. The rest is off brand. But it's grabbing attention because it was for a program that I ran. So I wanted to grab attention. I wanted people to go, oh, what's that? Oh, that's a nice flower. What's that about? Oh, yeah. So the words were deliberately smaller, right? And I used alliteration deliberately to grab attention. Passionate purpose. Oh, that sounds interesting, right? Simply is a power word. Your is a power word. Connection is a power word, but it's all how I speak. Authentic is a power word, but it's all how I speak. So I'm using the words that are going to grab people with an image that grabs people to get a result, which is to get people to have a think about coming along to one of my programs. Okay, but you can see if I just quickly scroll down, I really mix it up, right? The images I use are many and varied. So are the words. Okay. Okay. So what if you were talking to me then, all I got was fuzz. Okay. I'm assuming there's no question?
No, I can hardly hear you. It's going in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just going in and out.
Right. Is it any better now?
Yeah.
That's better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just moving my speaker. How's that?
Yeah, that's better. That's much better.
Great. Okay. So you can see, I was just saying that I use different images for different purposes. Okay. Now don't worry if you've missed bits because it is being recorded and you will get a copy of it. So I do apologise.
Are these all done on Canva?
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been using WordSwag, but this looks that next level again.
It
Good.
is. It is. So is there something that you're currently thinking about producing a product for? Is there something I can help create for you?
What I'm looking at doing is creating an ebook. I've written a book and I'm looking at creating an ebook that sort of spins off from that book. And I'm wanting to change and tweak the message with it a little bit, but I want to use colour and I want to sort of make it a bit more creative, put it that way, than what I've got at the moment.
Great. And do you have an image associated with that ebook yet?
No. So it's really in its infancy. I'm going this Thursday and I've got a photographer that's going to be working with me. Basically my message is frogs, toads and princes, how to avoid kissing toads. I don't know if you can hear that.
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
So what would you like? Would you like to create a Facebook post, or because I can take you through it now, and you can, and this is something you can then have.
I'm looking to create an ebook. So I don't know if you can show me that. That'd be awesome. Or even just a, you know what would be good is to show me how you'd use a photograph and put text on it to create, say, a meme or something like that to go on your Facebook page as a post. Something like that would be great.
Okay. Let me just see if they've got, yeah, okay. So you can do an ebook. See that one there?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
So this is typically, will give you the dimensions of a book. And so you can use it anywhere in your marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see it looks like a book, right?
Yes.
And the great thing about Canva is you can see on the left-hand side here, they're giving you some examples of things that they've done or other people have done.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, say you weren't talking about exploring the Middle East, but you were talking about desert, that would be beautiful. And you just change it for yourself.
The text, yes.
Yeah, okay. So they have free layouts that you can use, and I have used them and they work beautifully, because don't forget, these guys are experts in marketing. So they know what works. They've already done all of the research required to grab people's attention, right? So you may as well use what they've got if it applies. Right? Forager, fantastic. That would be fantastic if you were doing something to do with design or clothing manufacture or promoting models, right? So you can see, like spring flings, that could be anything. It could be something to do with spring, or it could be something that a photographer of nature might use. It could be something that a florist would use. So you can see you can borrow them from others. And I'm always looking at online at what grabs my attention. Right, so this one's got more of a National Geographic type feel to it. Right, this one's got more of a mystery novel feel to it. Riptides, the image, the title, everything. So you can see that they're evoking emotions as well as you go through them. Okay? Now, as you go through, they also should have paid ones, which they don't at the moment. But they often have paid ones, and they cost $1. So it's $1 US, so what is that, $1.40 Australia? And I buy from Canva all the time, and it's a one-off use. So it's one product, one use, but you can use it multiple times. But just for that product. So if you go to change it and you want to go from saying doing an talking about an ebook to do with clouds, if you suddenly want to talk about building a car, then, you know, it's an honour system really, but, you know, you really should buy it a second time. Okay, so what type of feel do you want to your image?
Well, I actually don't know if they're going to have anything that's going to suit it. What I'm wanting to do is create an ebook that focuses on finding yourself so that you can make effective choices in your life partner is basically what I'm putting together. So, but I'm actually thinking I want a photo of me on the front of it, which I'm wondering if I can upload a photo of me and use it in Canva. Will they allow you to do that?
Absolutely. So if we go through some basics, so you've got your.
But if you just pick out something that, you know, I don't know, it's got a nice feel about it in terms of that would be suitable for a personal development book or something like that, so that we can kind of keep going. Otherwise we could sit here all day looking at pictures. Yep. I'm dying to get into it because I actually think it looks like it'll be very good.
Yep. So I'll just quickly run you through this taskbar on the side here. The thing I like about Canva, it's very easy to use. So the layouts basically give you examples. Elements, I use them quite a bit. So if I wanted to have a chart or an illustration, so if I go into illustrations, see, so they give you a whole heap. Right? If you want to have a look at photos, right, you can see it's going to give me a whole heap of photos. If I want to look at icons,
it's very user friendly.
It is. It's magic. All right. So say I wanted that light bulb. I click on it. And it's that simple.
Yeah. Wow.
And I can delete it just as simply. Click on it. And delete it.
If I write all my text of what I want in my ebook, and I've written it in Word, can I pick it up out of Word and just copy and paste it in?
Yep. So you can use one of their, like as I said, right, see they've done a lot of the work for you. So you can use their headings or you can create your own. And again, they have free and paid. So you can create a heading, right? So you just copy your wording and you paste it in there.
Beautiful.
Okay, and you can see that I've got total control over the font. And the great thing is it shows you what it's going to look like before you get there. So if you want something really scripty, change it automatically. If you want to change the size, you can. If you want to change the colour, and see my brand colours have come up. Otherwise, I would have to choose them every time. But if I say have something and that blue's just a little bit too dark, I can come in here, click the plus button, and here is your lighten and darken. Right?
So is it a matter of just going in there and mucking around with it, or do they have like a little course you can do to learn it? Or
you can do courses, but this is what this is all about. So you can ask me as many questions as you like. Okay. So, and I do this for people as well. So, because I'm passionate about this stuff. And I'm an ex-techie, so for me it's dead easy, but not for everybody. So, you know, I work with people on this stuff. So say, okay, so give me a heading. What do you want? So find...
Put frogs, toads and princes, how not to kiss a toad, or something like that. Or just frogs, toads and princes will do.
Okay. Now the other thing is when you move things, it will give you lines. So if it'll tell me if I'm in the middle or not. It's great.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a title.
Yes.
Now we want, background is basically a coloured background, but they have textures as well. So you can choose the texture and then put an image over the top of it. Okay, so if I wanted to have, I don't know, this one, does it automatically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I can click on that image.
Yeah.
You can see this here. Right, so I can drag it out. I can move it, then pick it up and move it. So if I just want the boardwalk, right?
Oh, wow.
Okay, and so on the bottom here you can see the image.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just need to, oh, okay, I need to, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So you can see very quickly
how you can create it. And then like I could go into the next page and have like an index and then have, you know, with all the different topics, and then you sort of move into the text part of the ebook. And is the ebook sort of set up so that like the next page, which would be like your index page, is all set out for you, or do you pick that out off the side and drag it across?
Well, what I tend to do with my ebooks is I create a beautiful image here, and then I just use Word and create a PDF. Then you can do all of your content pages. You know, you can do headers, footers, everything in Word, and you can put images in. I always put images in my ebooks. And then what I do is I use this image I create here to grab people's attention, and when I send them the ebook, the first page is this image.
Yes.
Right? So it's your title page, your header page, whatever you want to call it, front of your book. Right? And it's a PDF. Everyone can read a PDF, and PDFs are better than docx's for documents because they take up less space.
Yes.
And you can read them on every single device.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so it translates for Apple versus Android versus whatever else, and it's great on phones.
Yep.
Okay. So if I wanted to have a look, this search bar up here, if I wanted to look for frogs, it'll go through the Canva image database and pick up anything it thinks will relate to frogs. Right? It is literal. That's
yes,
the only thing.
yes,
Right? So it's given me frogs. Right?
Yes.
So, but
look at them all.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a corroboree frog there. Oh, look at this one jumping up and down. Oh, how funny.
Right?
Yeah.
They've got heaps and look at this one. Right? That's beautiful.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Right? So you could literally have a frog.
Yes. I love that image actually to create a meme. That's gorgeous.
Right? So that's
gorgeous.
And I would have this, like if you're going to use it, have it on the cover of your book, create a meme with it, create a Facebook post with it, keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Right?
I have to go into Canva and have a look. I love that.
Right? So they've got fabulous stuff. And if you're dealing mainly with women, that would work beautifully. Right? Freud's, and you know, maybe you would have, I would actually change this. Frogs and your prince. Or versus your prince.
Yeah.
Right? What would be even better is if come on guys, copy it for me. No. Okay. Now, can you see all the hashes on that particular photo? Janet, I didn't hear a word you said then. Sorry, can you say that again? Maybe it's just noise in the background. Elizabeth, you were muted. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. You keep going to mute, so I didn't hear you.
It keeps throwing me off. I'm back again, but it kicks me completely off and then brings me back in again.
Right.
I love what you've written. You don't have to kiss frogs to find your prince. I've written that down. So, but I like that picture. That would really work well with my message. So I think that will be really good. Yeah.
Now, can you see the hashes on this particular?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Paid image.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Once you pay for it,
Yes.
those hashes disappear.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so to save it, all you can do is you go download.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you've got different options. Okay. I always choose the high quality image because you can always save an image in a lower resolution, but it's really hard to ramp it up again. So I always save it as a high quality image. And I very rarely actually save them for print unless I'm going to print like a brochure or something like that, or a training manual, or something like that, or a banner, and then I don't do it. But even banners, the PNG with a higher quality image is much better. If you're going to have a banner for a speaking event, go for your PNG every time. And especially if you take it to Officeworks, because they can actually, they're really great. They can tweak it to suit what you want. And the higher quality you've got, the better. So I never use PDF standard, and I never use image for web, because I know I can save the image at a lower, resolution if I need to. And it's only like in a couple of places that I've used that. But mostly, like, all of my Facebook stuff is all high quality. Now, Facebook takes that and changes automatically to a lower quality image that will actually come up quickly for people. So I know I'm getting the best I can. So if it looks fuzzy here, the picture, don't use it. It's going to look crap in Facebook.
Okay.
Right?
And I know Facebook have a certain level of message that you must use. Like, I've tried to put low quality in before and they just won't have it. You have to have medium to high, or whatever they call it. So yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. And again, they'll downgrade.
I'm trying to get in here and have a play with it.
Yep. And look, you could add a background to this and totally change the feel of it.
Yeah.
Totally change the feel and the message. But that's not a great background. Color text, but you can get the sense.
No, but I get the sense of it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Right? So, like, I wouldn't go with something like that because it's discordant. Unless you want to create a discordant emotion, right? And in that case, I would have like a softer underneath here. I would have to find your prints. I would change that background. See, I can move that background up, and then you can actually spin it. So, wrong one. Get the background image. So I can then spin it. Right, so that and I can move it. Wrong thing again. Right. Okay, so you don't have to kiss frogs. The other thing that is really great is, see this down arrow?
Mhm.
You've got text spacing, so I can like change the letters, right? That kind of thing. The line height doesn't make that much difference. But the other thing you can do that I absolutely love is the transparency. So I can actually say, well, that's a bit dark, that background. I want to fade it out, or I'm fading the words there. But if I grab the background, there we go, same thing. So the transparency of it. So I go, I want that harshness, but it's just a bit too harsh. Okay. Okay, you can flip it as well. You can add a link, which won't work in Facebook, but it works elsewhere. Okay, and then you know you might want to go, oh God, from crap to, I don't know, something. Rocks don't work. Clouds. Okay, so you can you've got from, it's that same cloud image, right? So this cloud image has gone over the entire background, but you've gone from a harsh background from kissing frogs to a nice softer version of it.
Yeah.
So you can do so much with this. I do advise you to keep it simple. That is way too complicated, that image.
Oh, yeah. No,
right?
no.
So I would almost go with a very plain coloured background, like a, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Because it tones in colour-wise with the flower. Right? And all I would do is I would lose this second image up here, and I would change the font colour.
Yeah.
Right? So up here I might use
white.
Or
white or lemon.
Yep.
Be nice.
And then change it down here to lemon. And then you have a look and you go, okay, well, which one is my eye drawn to? Yep, you don't have to kiss frogs. Great. That's where you want them to go first to find your prints. See, and the rose is romance. So you've got a cute little frog. You don't have to kiss frogs. Yeah, but I really wouldn't mind kissing that frog. And then you can go, oh yeah, but we don't want you to mind kissing frogs. We want you to find your prints. Right? So yeah, the frog might be attractive and he might look good and he might be sitting on a flower, but really you want what's behind the scenes, what's deeper, what's underneath, which is red rose. You want the juiciness of a full-blown, wonderful relationship, which is your dew on the flower. Right?
It's a lovely image.
Right? So that grabs visual attention. In fact, I would probably just soften the rose just a smidge. Okay, because it's distracting from the frog. It's the only thing I don't like about Canva is this sidebar and the transparency. So I would just, there we go, just take the edge off.
It's good. I think it's terrific.
Okay, and I'm happy to, download that for you and send it to you. That's not a problem. Okay.
No, look, it's fine because I can go in and find it. All I've got to do is look up the frog text and it'll make me have a play around with it. That's fine, Dal. Thank you so much.
No worries. Well, what I'll do is I'll
even to see what it can do has been really helpful because everyone's been talking about Canva and it's good to see what it can do.
Yep. The other thing, I've just print screened that for you, so I will email it to you. So you can see that the flower image has hashes on it as well, so you would pay $2 for that image. That's jolly good.
Oh, it's cheap as.
And it's really, you will not get it anywhere else because it's yours.
Oh, so once I've bought it, can anyone else buy it?
Only if you make it public. So see this button up here? If you make it public, other people can use it. Otherwise, no, they can't.
Oh, okay.
But one thing I always say to people is add, like you wouldn't do it here, like you would obviously put your name, author, your name on it. But if, say, you were using this for Facebook,
Yes.
I would put, say, Facebook, say this is mine, but it's not. Right, so I always put my name in there somewhere, and I've spelt it. Oh, look,
Yeah.
caps lock on. Right, so, but you get the idea. So it's there, but it's not obvious.
Mhm.
And the great thing is, you can even, I've often done this. Okay, and put it somewhere really innocuous.
Yeah.
So if someone goes to use it, they can't use find your prints to find your prints without having your name in there. So you know, if you see it elsewhere, you go, hang on a minute, that's copied out of mine. How do you know? Because I can see part of my name there. Okay. Now, I don't recommend people copy other people's stuff, as I said before, unless you copyright them. But if you see and someone else taught me this, and she's actually quite well known. She's got hundreds of thousands of followers. If she sees a painting that she likes, she'll take a smidge of the corner of the colour of the painting, and she'll make it, she'll add a filter to it, or she'll transpose it so that you can't tell it's that particular artist's work. Okay? So she's done that before, but photographs are different. Obviously, you could take a corner of a photograph, but if you use the entire photograph, you need to pay, the artist, or at least give them credit. So I've got a friend who's a photographer. I use his stuff all the time. His has got copyright Tim Edwards on it. Whenever I use it, because he deserves credit. Okay? So that is going to grab people's attention. That has subliminal messaging in there. It has your key message in there. Right? And it's going to print beautifully if you wanted to print. Right? You're going to get all of that texture in the leaf, which is what you want. You want people to have a textured relationship. And you can use this image, and I would use some of the, like the stuff that I've just been talking about in your ebook. So refer back to the image. Right? You've got frogs, so what's a relationship? A relationship's like, petals of a flower. You don't have to use the rose or the, gerbera, but you could use, whatever. Okay. So, so I've taken a screenshot of that for you, so I will send that to you.
That's lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome. The other thing is, if you get the business version, up under File, you can change its dimensions. Right? So you can magically resize this, and then you have a whole series of tick boxes here. Say I just want to do a Facebook post, right? Abracadabra, resize, and it is going to resize it automatically for me. So you do the work once, and then you let the technology do the rest for you. So you can see, right, that's what the post would look like, but the frog's out of kilter. So you need to move it over a bit. And then you've got a Facebook post. Okay? And then you just download that, and in the title, because you can change the title to whatever you want. So say I go to download that, right, that's what it comes up with, $2 US, right? And I buy 10 at a time because I get one free, right? But you can see you can download a watermark draft. They've only just started doing that. So I can download it and it'll have the hashes on it. Okay, and it puts it straight into your download directory. And the title of it is going to be ebook. So next time I might want to have ebook Twitter. So I know that's the Twitter version. And I come in here and I go File and I change the dimensions, or I magically resize it and let it do it for me. Okay? It is great stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
So are there any questions that you might have before I move on to Picmonkey?
No, it looks awesome. Looks really, really good. Really good.
Great stuff. Well, I've taken a screenshot of this, plus I've downloaded the hash version, so I will email that to you. So you've got that.
That's lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Picmonkey. Are you seeing Picmonkey now?
I've never seen Picmonkey.
Are you seeing a photo of me?
I've never seen it before.
Cool. Are you seeing a photo of me on? Great. Okay. So this is how you create magic images of yourself. This is me taken late last year, down at the coast, not a skerrick of makeup, little bit of sunburn. You know, it's a painting that was at the house we were staying at, and I just was feeling so happy. I thought, oh, stuff it, I'm going to take a photo, because I knew I had Picmonkey to beautify myself. Okay? You can go to town. You can change the colour of your hair. You can change the colour of your eyes. You can change the colour of your shirt. You know, you can pretty much do anything you like. You can add text. You can add images like hearts and smiley faces and all sorts of things. But the thing I love about this is that over on the left-hand side here, you've got all of these options. So it comes in automatically with the basic edits. So cropping, like if you had a background, rotating, exposure, right? So all the stuff we're used to, resizing. Say I'm happy with that image, but I want to beautify it, right? So effects. So here it gives you different colour palettes. So you might want to say, oh, you know, I'm looking a bit, I don't know, I want to have it like an, oh, what's that do? Let's have a look. Oh, look, it's added a soft fuzz, and you can change it. Or I like dusk. I want to put a dusky image to it. Oh, no, I like sort of something a bit more tranquil. And it automatically does it for you.
Oh, wow.
If I just want to soften, I can soften it. And I can change the level of softness by just moving the slider. So I can go more or less, right? Which is great if you've got a few wrinkles and you want to hide them. I can fade, right? Which is also a blurring technique. Right? And this little pencil here, I can click on that and I can just fade certain bits. Okay.
Oh, right.
I can instantly turn it to black and white. I'm not great in black and white. Okay, so there's lots of different options. But if I go back to say I go for an autumn, because it's just softened it a little bit. Okay. All right. So if I now want to go in and get rid of some of my wrinkles and my blemishes, this is where I go into, where the lipstick is. So what I can do here is I can fix a blemish, and I have rosacea, and I can choose the brush size. And the blemish goes. You can watch it disappear. Right?
Oh, wow.
Blemish is gone. I can airbrush myself, and then it asks me, do you want to apply that? No. Yes, I want to apply that because that looks good. I want to airbrush myself? Oh, yeah, I think I might. Let's try this. Okay, so let's grab some of these wrinkles and just airbrush them softly, because I don't mind having wrinkles, but you know, I don't want them to be really, really noticeable, right? Okay. Definitely. Right, but right. Oh, look, some more wrinkles. I don't like those either. I'll just airbrush them. So they're still there, but they just don't stand out, right? Now, because, you know, I got a bit sunburnt, I can change the colour of my skin too if I want. So I just apply that. And if I don't want to apply it, I can just come up here and back arrow, undo the last action, or I can just cancel. But we'll apply that, right? You've also got wrinkle remover, like if you've got deep forehead.
Spray tan.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do some spray tan. Give yourself some.
I've got no blush. I want to add blush. I can add blush, right?
No way.
Yeah, way. So for me, right, I don't do spray tan because spray tan is, see how they're quite dark? And that I cannot get it. I look like I've been in a tanning salon, get it right, for like 6 weeks. So it doesn't work for me because I'm so fair. Yeah. Beautiful for people with olive skin or dark skin. Oh, such a glow. So what I do is I actually use, if I can get out of this, cancel that. I actually go in, where is it, to my eyeshadow. And I choose the brown palette, and then I just have a play. So I get a big brush size, and I go, okay, what's that look like? Right? Oh, okay, no, that's too dark, right? And you basically, but you can see how you can totally change, right? So you can actually give yourself eyeliner. So I tend to actually use this middle one, and then I will just come through and just, right? Oh, that's too, right? So say say I do this bit here and it's way too dark. I go, okay, I want to lighten that. I just come over here and see how it's changing it?
Yeah.
But, right, so if I don't like it, I can tweak it. If I want to add shadow, right, I can tweak it, right? You can see how that makes a huge difference. Okay? If I want to give myself like some pink blusher, it changes the palette. And I come in and I go, okay, I think I'll have some blush. It's a bit too pale. Let's go to town. Let's make you look like a clown. All right? You can see how it can affect the image. Right? I'm just undoing it.
Yeah.
Okay? You can add eyeshadow. Here's one thing I really love is Eye Brighten. And what this does is it darkens the pupil and enhances the colour. So what you need to do is you can lighten or darken your eye colour, but what it will do, you watch, makes the pupil look bigger.
Oh, yes.
Makes your eyes stand out.
Just lifts your eyes.
Right? So that's probably a bit much. I probably need to go down in brush size. That's better. Right, now I can add an eye tint. So apply that. So I've got naturally green eyes. So I go to the green eye colour palette, and then I come over here and I go, oh yeah, I don't want that colour eye. So, okay, what colour do I want? Do I want to go darker? Do I want to go lighter? Let's fiddle. Right, so I actually go quite dark, a dark hazily green. And then I pick my brush size for the size of my eye. Right, too big. Come back, adjust it.
So it's like you're giving yourself coloured contact lenses.
Yeah, but what I can do is, right, I can now change this. So I can fade it to practically nothing.
Yeah. But it just gives that lift. Yeah.
Okay, and I can change the colour at the same time. So if I wanted to go into a blue, see how that's making my eye just that little bit more blue? And I can go, okay, no, that's not, and so people do this, and like, I don't have blue eyes, but I could give myself blue eyes. I could also give myself red eyes. Right? You can see. And it's just a subtle change that makes the difference. Okay, because it brings out your eyes. And so then now that I've got it right, I come over here and apply it to the colour in that eye. Another one that I absolutely love is, especially when I haven't got, is to add mascara. Watch this. Let's just add a bit of mascara. Right? Now just again, look how that has brought it, just those two things have brought out my eyes. Okay? And another one that I always recommend people use is the teeth whitener. This is fabulous. So you come in here and you go in and you give yourself an instant teeth whiten. Look at that. And I say to people, use it on your eyes. Okay? Because otherwise you look funny, right? So yep, I like that. I'll apply that. Okay. You can even do weight loss.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Okay. So you can apply how much weight you want to lose. Now it is a bit tricky because you don't want to see how it's changing the screen, right? So I'm fatter.
Yeah.
I'm thinner. I'm fatter. I'm thinner. Right? My daughter loves this. You know, she torments the poor little cats by making them fat and thin. But it's just subtle, right? And just, you don't have to do much. And just that, it just makes you look that little bit thinner. It's still me. It's just that little bit thinner. Yeah, I'll apply that. Thanks very much. No, I don't want to grow whiskers, but I might, you know, my hair's looking a bit dull because I'm not sitting in the sun. So let's put a few highlights in. So let's go to the reds. Let's pick a darkish red. Right? And let's add a few highlights. What size brush? Not that big. Okay, so let's come in here and, right, that's probably, right, you might not be able to see that, but you watch when I change it to blonde. Right? So you can add, so I might say, okay, I want to have it look like I've got light on top because I've been in the sun. Okay, and then totally changes the way you look. And then you can go, oh, I want it a bit brighter, darker, right? And you can play. Now, as soon as you click apply, it applies that particular one. And then you can come back in and add another highlight. So say I want to go really, really yellow blonde, not green. So say I want to go really, really gold, I can actually come in, right, and it lightens, adds gold texture. So you can do whatever you like, right? So let's do that. Let's apply that. So just those two alone look better. Now, I will do one more thing and then I will show you the difference. Oh, nip tuck. So if you have a photo and you love it, but you can see like your double chin, you click on nip tuck and it will actually, you can move your chin ever so slightly.
Oh, wow.
Right? You can give you go, oh, I'm looking a bit, right? I'll just suck my cheek in a little bit there, make it look like I've got, you know, all my jaws sticking out a bit much. I'll just suck that in a bit there. So give yourself a bit of a facelift, right?
Yep.
What you need to watch is your ears, okay? Because if you get it wrong, you look like your ears like stick out from your head. And that would be the only thing I say to watch. And I'm going to give myself a spray tan and a very light spray tan, and then we'll call it quits and you can see the difference. Okay, because I'm very fair, you know, if I could go out in the sun and you know, not have to worry, it would be great. But because I can't, I can go, okay, well, I don't actually want to go out in the sun, but I want a bit of a tan, so I'm going to come and I'm going to do it in here. And wherever I hold my, right, wherever I go with my mouse is wherever the tan is applied. I go, oh yeah, I missed that eye, got to do the eye, right? Okay. Oh, that's a bit dark. I think I might lighten it just a little bit. And maybe make it a bit more intense. There we go. I look a bit healthier, not quite so sunburnt. Okay. Now, you might think, oh, yeah, that looks pretty average, but watch this. That's the before, that's the after. Before, after.
Oh, you're back again. Yeah.
Before,
Yeah, just gives you that bit of warmth.
After.
Yeah.
Right? But it makes me appear more like a third-dimensional person than a flat photograph.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if I didn't like my blue shirt, I just go into eyeshadow and I choose a different colour. Right? So say, I don't know, I want to go, here. Right? Say I want to change it. I can softly change it in here. Right? And you can see I've just changed that to like a green colour. Right? Or you can go into eye tint and you can choose a blue, a vibrant blue. Okay, so if you want a totally blue shirt, you come in here and you go, I now want a blue shirt. Obviously you've got to watch your line, but just to do it really quickly.
Yeah.
And you can see how that changes the photo.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing and I can apply the same, so I apply that one and then I can come back and go, oh, okay, oh, I really want to make that background the same kind of blue, but I want to have it like really soft. So let's come through and, right, really make it dramatic. And you can give it, so this is where you can add an effect, right? So now it looks more like a poster from the cinema. Not that I would use that, but you can see how you can totally change your image so that it's still you, but it's just that little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go back to the slideshow. So we've created some images. You've seen me beautify myself, but you can do it for yourself as well. Final tips. So my final tips are all about how you use your voice and your images. So once you've got your images and you've put your words to them, you need to really be a bit courageous. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You also need to actually talk about, yourself. You need to actually use your authentic nature and be yourself. Share the images around. Don't overshare. Don't bombard one particular Facebook group with your image. Share them, right? So share them around. Be authentic in how you share them. Don't overshare them. But, put them in groups that you know where your target audience is going to be hanging out. Do it on days where there's promo days so you don't piss off the people who own the groups. If you have a particular program coming up and say their promo day is on a Friday and your promo is on a Thursday, ask if you can promote. And not most people will say yes. The thing that you need to remember is that like attracts like. So if you're yourself, in the way you talk, in the way you communicate, in your images, in your words, in your promotions, then people are going to be attracted to you because you're talking their lingo. You will come up against negative Nellies. Your inner critic is going to go crazy. How come no one responded to that image? Well, it didn't resonate. But if you posted that same image in a month or 6 months, it'll go crazy. People change all of the time. People are learning, people are growing, people are having lives, they're doing things. The way they see themselves, the things that attract them are different from day to day, hour to hour. So what works now may not work in the future. In fact, it probably won't. So you need to constantly be growing, and that means you need to get outside that comfort zone, and you need to actually go, I'm just going to give this a go. I saw that image, it worked beautifully, it really grabbed my attention, I'm going to give something like that a go. Or I've got a new product, I really want to grab attention, I'm going to go black and white, and I've never done that before. Be courageous. Let's face it, people troll through their Facebook groups all of the time, all day. You would have to post every minute of every day, in fact multiple times a minute every day, to annoy anybody, because they're only going to glance through their Facebook groups and their pages and their friends, and only occasionally will they stop on something. So you need to make sure that you're grabbing attention, but you also need to make sure you're being authentic, so that when they respond to you and when they actually talk to you and want to become a client, what you actually give them then is what they're expecting. If there's a mismatch between the two, so if I pretended to be an executive coach, but when, you know, in all my imaging and in my advertising, and then suddenly they talk to me and I'm dressed as a hippie, they're going to go, what the heck? And I'm going to put people off. Don't forget, word of mouth, big impact. If you're having trouble, grab a mentor, grab a coach, grab a friend, partner. Kids are honest as the day is long. Get them to have a look at what you're doing and say, what does that say to you? And they'll tell you. Ask them to be honest and they'll tell you, right? You're not alone in this. Everyone who's in business has had to learn this stuff in one way, shape or form. Whether they then choose to outsource it to someone else is up to them. But you need to know what you're doing before you outsource it. That's my opinion. But if you know the basics, then your business is going to thrive and shine. And you're really going to get a lot out of this. Okay? And I know we're just talking images here, but it makes a big difference. Well, that's it. So the most important message I would say for everybody is to play with it. Have some fun. If you're not having fun, if this is too difficult, then get yourself a mentor, grab a friend, make it fun, because when it's fun, that's when the magic happens. Now, for those of you who would like to work with me, I have an initial consult at the moment for $97. This is my plug bit, right? There's a link there, but you'll get it in your email as well as a copy of this video. And feel free to take me up on it. Now, I have 2 spots actually free this week because people have cancelled. So I've got Wednesday and Thursday this week. So just let me know if that appeals. Otherwise, I hope this has been of use to everybody. I hope you have fun with your images and your words. And if you have any questions at any time, just shoot me a message, because I give to receive. And if I help you, then somewhere down the line, when I need help, someone will help me, or money will flow when I'm desperate for it, or my car's flat tire will get fixed instantly instead of a 2-hour wait. So what goes around comes around, and I hope this has been fun and that you've enjoyed it. And if you would like to give me some feedback, I'd really appreciate it. Shoot me a video, an email, whatever works for you. Okay, that's
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Bye.